Hi guys, three key things you need to know, you need to practice for you to become rich in Kenya, or even at least have an opportunity to live a comfortable life. Welcome to the Money Daily YouTube channel. My name is Afagza Sifuna. You know guys, all of us when we were young were thinking about probably maybe going through the education system, getting a good job, typical process, and at the end, hopefully making certain amounts of money. But we've all seen the realities out there are very different, okay? You find someone who's highly educated, they don't have money. You find another person, for example, who even did advance past maybe secondary education, they have insane amount of money and they are leading comfortable life. Why the big discrepancy? Because it seems like there isn't any clear formula out there on how to become rich. That's why I'm summarizing these 3 points for you to understand these basic things you need to do for you to become rich. And guys, the very first thing which you need to do for you to become rich is you working. Yes, and by saying you need to work, I don't mean you need, for example, to be extremely highly qualified for you to get a white-collar job and maybe rake in millions, because even those jobs are very rare. According to statistics, most of the Kenyans earn below 50,000 shillings. So that tells you chances are you might just be within that particular range, or in case you are lucky, you might earn slightly more. But that amount of money will not be able to make you rich. When I talk about working, I mean you being very intentional about gaining extra skills, okay? Gaining those competitive skills, because also the market out there rewards skills differently. There are those skills out there which are deemed to be extremely marketable, okay? For example, skills like, for example, the ability to sell. Everyone out here is looking to sell something. So if you have the ability to sell, whether you have gone to school, studied to the highest level possible, or even, for example, you just gotten a college diploma, you name it. If you have a little ability to sell, chances are your life is just going to be okay, because you'll have mastered a skill which is in demand and, in fact, extremely marketable. Another example, in this era we're living in, also skills around technology, more so those disruptive areas, are also extremely marketable. So it is upon you to sit, reflect, look at which skills you are passionate about, and also are those skills marketable. With that, you might just strike gold, because you might end up having the basics of what is needed for you to be able to work. And with that, you jump on the grind. And also, when I talk about working, don't choose work, more so if you are starting out. To give you an example, you might, for example, have gone to school, studied, let me say, for example, nursing, okay? You finished school. There isn't an outright position maybe for you to go and practice nursing in a facility. Maybe there's an opening out there for you to work with an NGO. Maybe there's an opening out there for you to go and even do something, for example, relating to sales. Guys, when you are starting out, work. The key is to get into those rooms. The key is to get into those spaces, and then you can be able to maneuver to an area of interest as time goes by. But ensure you don't waste an opportunity of getting into those spaces, and hopefully you get into a space which you have solid skills on and also which you are passionate about. And then the second key thing which you need to note for you to be able to become rich in Kenya is that patience goes a long way. You have to be patient. What do I mean? Statistics out there are clear that most people become rich as their age progresses. And that's so because that's when they'll have accumulated good amount of resources for them maybe to expand their businesses, okay? That's when they'll have continuously accumulated experience, and combining their skills and experience at problem solving, then they end up dictating they can be able to get higher market rates. With that, guys, we are seeing a good chunk of our youth out there making wrong moves. For example, we are seeing young people out there getting into forex scam, scamming people of their hard-earned cash. If you become a scammer, chances are you're going to end up most likely dying young, and even so not fulfilling that elusive dream to become rich. You need to be patient. As you are accumulating skills, as you are working, continue refining all these, and over time, they're going to just compound, and the market is going to reward you extremely highly. So be patient. Great things take time, and also making a fortune takes time. Don't go for those cheap kind of like scamming things, because at the end, you gonna suffer. Okay? And then the third key thing which you have to master for you to become rich is the power of investing, and most importantly, compounding as you are investing. What am I talking about? If you have a full-time job, you are working paycheck to paycheck. Basically, you are working month in, month out for you to be paid salary. You eat the entire salary. Again, you keep working. Chances are you'll never become rich. You'll never be financially independent. That's why, beyond catering for the basics, we also need to spare some amounts of money for us to be able to invest. And if we invest, that money is able to give us a return. For example, if you have a small chamber, somewhere maybe in the rural area, and then you construct simple single houses, you're going to be able to make money from these single houses even upwards of 20 years to come through rental income. Okay? If you have the ability, for example, to get a big loan, you could even construct a flat, and you'll end up making rental income. If you have a spare amount of money, you might decide to invest in a Nairobi Stock Exchange, or even so, whichever other securities out there, and you'll end up earning dividends. Guys, the most important thing is for you to invest. Invest in real estate, invest in stock markets, or even so, put your money in business. Okay? You could be employed, but you might have side hustle, which hopefully over time, it can even grow to become bigger than your full-time employment. And you're going to be able to dictate how your business grows. And in the process, you will be able to make a fortune. As you are investing, the most important thing is to compound, which basically means haukuli profit yote. Profit you're making, you plow it back to business. And that's how you see, for example, businesses out there growing exponentially, because the owners are visionaries who are seeing that the profit they are making, they're applying back to the business, and then over time, the business grows very exponentially. So, as you are investing, also not compounding, because it is compounding that's going to make you, over time, grow rich more exponentially. What do you think about this video? I hope you have learned a thing or two. If you like the video, don't hesitate dropping a thumbs up on this video. And by the way, you can also share in the comment section your experience, maybe lived experience, or even so what you are going through right now when it comes to you being on that journey to become rich. Cheers, guys. I look forward to share with you other amazing videos next time. Bye-bye.